My name is Dr. Laura McDougall, and I'm the Senior Medical Officer of Health with Alberta Health Services. We all know that Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and I thought this was a good time to have a conversation about what we can do to celebrate safely. The most important thing is if you're feeling unwell, either as a guest or even if you're hosting, just let people know you can't make it. Everyone will understand. Because you're sick and wanting to make sure that you're not spreading anything to the people who you love in that setting. Well, I think for all of us, being really open in our communication is really important. So as a host for Thanksgiving, I think one of the most important things is to think about how many people are going to be a part of your gathering. We know that one of the most common ways that COVID is being transmitted between Albertans right now is through contact with friends and family. So keeping that numbers small is really important. Once you've really thought about that, maybe reaching out to the people who you'd normally include in your celebrations and letting them know why you're keeping things smaller this year might be a really good idea. And think about other ways that you can make those contacts over this weekend or the coming weeks. And as we're thinking about identifying our grocery list and going to the store, being really careful to follow all the physical distancing rules in the store, wearing a mask, and of course, hand hygiene as you start your shop, as you finish shopping, and as you come back into your home. Then as we're thinking about actually inviting the guests into our home, as people arrive, or maybe even before they arrive, might be a really good time to lay out expectations and set some barriers and some ground rules about how we're expecting our dinner to go, making it really clear that our desire to keep physically distant is really for the sake of protecting them and protecting the whole group who we love. So making that really clear from the start might really ease awkwardness over the course of the dinner. And another thing would be to think about how people are going to be seated in the dinner. So members of your own household perhaps could be seated together and perhaps even physically separate from members of other households. What we know for sure is that when people are in close physical proximity, that is the highest risk and the highest likelihood of transmission. And then as we're thinking about how we serve food, making sure that there's only one person who's putting food on people's plates and bringing the plated meal to the table is a real safe measure as well. Because we know that even in Alberta, there's been many instances where people sharing serving utensils has been a cause of a lot of transmission of COVID. Hand hygiene is important, again, as a host, making sure that you have hand sanitizer available as people arrive and to use over the course of the dinner. And then single-use towels within your bathroom might be another option, assuming that you're hosting within your house. If the weather is good and if you have the facility, actually hosting your event outdoors is a really great idea too. We know that COVID transmission in all events is less likely to happen in outdoor environments. Again, the best and most important thing for being a guest or a host is that if you're not feeling well, to decline the invitation and stay home, self-isolate, go online to ahs.ca/COVID and do the self-assessment and maybe find out whether you need a COVID test. Now and in the weeks ahead, I can't stress enough how important it is to maintain physical distancing. And when you can't, wear a mask. Hand hygiene is so important. We're all in this together, and it's up to all of us to keep each other safe. Happy Thanksgiving.